Okay, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Hello. Alright, turn the flashlight on for here. Okay. Doing a test. I did a test earlier, and this equipment I've got, I'm having to cover that because that light is so bright in my eyes. To see where the camera's at. Hello, camera. Am I watching this? Anyway, I didn't have the mic turned on. I'm seeing how it does with the external mic. And I've got the light attachment, and I found an old Canon camera. I forgot I had video camera, which if it works, and I think it does, it'll do better as far as the video quality. But I'm seeing how it works with this external mic. I'm going to do a test session here. So, let's see how this works, if it does. This is more for the camera, the test of the camera, than anything. Let me clarify what I'm doing here. Yes, I'm testing my equipment. It's anybody that wants to get into this, it's common sense to make sure your equipment works and you know how to use it. Okay. So a perfect example is I was out here earlier, a few hours ago, and I was doing this. My son came home from work. I had his girlfriend, and we sat out here and talked for a while. I just went in there. They're going to bed, and I'm checking the footage. I got the footage, except there's no sound, because dummy me didn't realize there was actually another on and off switch on the mic. So it's like a silent movie, which it just completely defeats the purpose, right? So anyway, I'm out here at midnight 30 trying again. So I'm going to fire my stuff up.
Power on.
Now hopefully you'll be able to hear me.
Bluetooth connected.
I'm going to turn this down just a little. Now, I have the SB7. This is another thing. I'm sorry, I'm in my old beat up britches. I'm at my house, so, you know. Got the SB7. I've been collecting equipment for the past few months as I could get the money. For those of you out there who are like me and you're limited on your finances, this is what you do. We don't have the money to go out and just buy everything at one time. Patience. Do what you have to do. Save your money up and get what you want. And go from there. Have to have the patience to do what needs to be done. Okay. I'm going to try this, the SB7. Let's get it on. Okay. Now, I'm going to try to show you guys. I'm hoping the sound's okay. I can get behind the camera here myself so I can see. Alright. SB7. There's your power. Okay, and here's your settings. You hold it for a few seconds for it to come on, and then you hold this top button here to get it going. Now they have the option to do it in reverse, and then you can change the rate. I like it at 150. That seems to be the standard sweep speed for it. It's fast enough to keep it going so it's not stopping on any one station, but you can still get that effect. Okay, and this is a Bluetooth speaker that I've got. I've got the, I guess they call it the pill. It's the long one. I've got it in my bag too. So now, I've got this going. Here's my volume on this. This is maxed out on the SB7. I've got the volume all the way up. For this one, you hold the middle one, turn it on and off, and of course increase volume, up and down. That's a little bit louder here. Now, where I'm at right here, this swing, my mother died 2 years ago. This is where she would sit so many times. Just about every day, my mother spent some time in this porch swing, sitting here swinging, reading her books. She loved to read. So this is a precious spot to my mama. If she were to appear here at our home, it would be most likely here. And a most familiar spot is where you will find a spirit reappearing sometime or getting some kind of connection with him. Now, the other thing I'm going to do while this is running, hang on, I've got this down here from before. I hadn't taken it back in yet. Candle. Every religion around the world, for whatever reason, they use candles. It is believed there's something about the candle flame, flames in general, but especially a candle flame, that seems to be like opening a portal between this world and the next. That's what is believed. Can't hurt to try, right? This is what we're doing. Paranormal research. So, there you go. You got your candle going. Now, as I said, I'm checking my equipment. So I know already this other stuff works. But, again, the sound was screwed up because of me. My dummy self forgot to check to see if it had an on and off switch on the mic. So this is a good test for me now for the sound to see, now that I've got it on, to see how it sounds farther away and close up. These are the things anybody getting into this needs to do. Test your equipment. Get familiar with it. Get comfortable with it. Because you don't want to be out somewhere and just get completely bumfuzzled by it. Okay. Mama, if you are here, can you say hello? I am reaching out for my mother if she is here. If you are here, Mama, can you tell me hello? Let me know you are here.
Right.
Okay. Now, a couple of things. I'll turn this back down for a minute. Okay. I've got my phone. I think I've got it still in the bag with me. Let me turn this off for a moment. Okay. For me, sure, I'm trying to make sure I'm kind of in frame. I had to go get my jacket on because we've had storms come through and it's chilly out here tonight. Anyway, I have lost my mother 2 years ago. I lost my uncle, Lonnie. Fused for that. 2 months before my mother died 2 years ago, my step-granddad died, Paul Thomas. Back in February 3rd, 2006, my brother died. I was holding his hand as he took his last breath on earth. 2 months after that, 2 or 3 months after that, my mama's mama died, Nanny Grace. And just earlier this year, first this year, I lost my Uncle Connie down in Charleston. I've lost my grandmother with my daddy's mama and my Uncle Lonnie's mama. We all called her me mom. And the cousin's son, he's gone. There's just so many. I have lost so many people in my life. It's hard. It's very hard. So it makes you feel like there's a big part of you, when you've lost that many people, there's a big part of you that's already on the other side of the veil, so to speak. Now, as far as my own personal experience, back in, I'd say around 91, 92, thereabouts, I had just moved into an apartment and still had everything in boxes, a few things out, I had the furniture in. I was in bed. I can remember reading a Star Trek book. And I was getting ready to go to sleep. I had the book in my hand, and I was reaching up to turn the lamp off beside the bed. The way the apartment was set up, outside of my bedroom door, the hall went this way and this. The bathroom was back here. And I had the bathroom light on. It was a good source of indirect lighting. And I always had a light on because I didn't want to go stubbing my toe in the night if I had to get up. So that's the only light that was on in the whole apartment. So I got the book in my hand, and I'm turning the lamp off. And my hand is still on the switch. It just flipped it off, and I froze. Because there in the doorway was a full-blown apparition. It was an old lady, short curly hair with the round spectacles. She was wearing a shirt dress with a belt, and she's wearing the little platform shoes, and I could see through her. I could see through her. And she was standing there wringing her hands, and I was just, I froze. I mean, this isn't something that happens every day. And I watched her. She stood there for a moment, wringing her hands like she was all confused and upset. She walked in to the bedroom and then turned and walked right. I had my dresser there inside the door with the mirror dresser. She walked to the end of it, and you could hear, I had a basket with my jewelry in it. You could hear the jewelry move, like she was rummaging through it, trying to figure out, what is this? Where did this come from? You could tell she was confused, and she stopped. She wrung her hands again, turned around, walked out of the room, and disappeared. I could not move until that moment when she walked through that door and disappeared. It's like I was in this trance of shock. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So when she walked out, it's like all of a sudden I could move, and I flipped the light right back on, and I come flying out of bed. And I went through the whole apartment. And there was nobody there but me and my son. My son at that time was only like 2-3 years old. He was sound asleep. So I was going through the whole place, doing prayers, incense, whatever, go to the light, because I didn't know if it's somebody astral projecting. I didn't know if it was a dead person. I didn't know. And what I found out later was the woman that lived there before me had just been put in a nursing home. So I don't know if she was dreaming about the last place she lived and was astral projecting there, or if she had passed on. I never did find out if she had passed on. But when you ever have an experience like that, you don't ever forget it. It sticks with you. And nobody will ever convince you you did not see what you just saw. It was just as real as my hands are. I know what I saw. It just, wow, blew me away. I've had things happen, but nothing that major. That was the biggest thing ever for me. Now, years later, my brother, as I said, passed away. When he was in the funeral home, we came home from the first night of visitation. And I walked in this back door and walked down the hall. Now, this end is my parents' end. This end is the end that I built. I paid for to add on so I could be there to help them as they got older. That was what we had worked out. And I paid for it. The point is, at the end of this is their bedroom, at the end of the hall, on the left. Just as I got to that bedroom, that's where he died, in that room. It's like I hit a wall and I could not move. I just stopped. I froze. And the smell of roses was so intense I couldn't hardly breathe. It was so strong. And I was absolutely amazed. I could not believe. It was just like a wall of roses. You can imagine how strong a billion roses would be. It was that powerful. My son and my Aunt Sandra were coming in the door about that time, and I'm yelling at my son, Rusty, do you smell that? And Sandra yells, says, I smell it out here. She was still outside the door. It was so powerful, she could smell it outside. And it only lasted for a few minutes. So that was one big experience we had with him. There were a few random things that happened. One night, my daughter was getting up to go to the bathroom. When she got to this room that I'm in now, she heard a man's voice said, hey, it scared the crap out of her. She'd go flying back to my end. Oh my God, oh my God. At that point, she wasn't a believer, but she was afterwards. She knew just as sure as anything. She heard a man's voice, and I think it was my brother trying to communicate. I heard him a couple of times. I could hear him call my name, like muffled and far away, like yelling through a tunnel. Lindy. Lindy. I could hear him. But it was just so far away. And then, after about a couple of years, after he died, then it stopped. Down the driveway is where my Aunt Sandra lives. My Aunt Sandra is my mama's twin sister. So you know how bad it's been for her having lost her twin sister. But they've had things happen down there. Shortly after my mom died, one of my cousin's granddaughter, anyway, little girl, they was talking about my mama, and she said, well, I saw her out there. So she's standing out there right now. And she described her. She saw my mama standing beside one of the cars outside the house, just standing there. And I think they've seen that a couple of times, which is totally to be expected, that being her twin sister living down there. They always wanted to live beside each other when they grew up, and it took them a long time. They finally got that dream. So we're up here. My parents had bought the front acreage by the road, and they have, my aunt and all them have that back there. They have another spirit, they call it, nicknamed it Tinkerbell. And what I'm going to try to do is take the camera and get like an interview with them, and then do an investigation down there a couple times, see if we catch anything. One of the things that happened to my cousin, Lonnie, he was working on a car. He started hearing this little girl singing. And he went out. He thought maybe it was one of the girls, but didn't see anybody. Wasn't anybody out there. So he goes back to work in the car. He heard it again. Went outside again. Nobody there. Went back in. Got back to working on the car, and it happened a third time. Now, I'm not sure if this happened like 3 or maybe 4 times. And he finally had enough. He went in. I personally wonder, I have to wonder, down the road from us, I need to take a ride back there to see if there was a sign up for a long time looking for this mother and her child, her daughter, that disappeared. They've never been seen or heard from. Nobody knows what happened to them. And I'm wondering if maybe somebody killed them and they're out in these woods back here somewhere, which would kind of explain a little girl wandering around, a little girl spirit. Just a theory, just a possibility. Creepy, but you know, that's life. But yeah, I've had a lot of different things like that happen. So I've got so much of me on the other side of the veil through those that I love being gone. I want to know. I'm like anybody out there. We want to know. We can all theorize. Nobody knows for certain. But I want to get out there and do this myself. So for me tonight is me getting comfortable with the tools of the trade, so to speak, making sure everything works and I'm comfortable with it, and being comfortable in front of the camera doing this. So, that's my long-winded way of saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. So, what I want to do now, so that's a Bluetooth speaker that I've got. I've got a big radio inside I could use sometimes too if I need it to be a little bit stronger. But let me find, there we go. Quit hanging on everything, I'd appreciate it. I need to charge my phone, it's getting low. But let me show you a couple of things too. And I really hope the sound's working this time. Alright, one thing I got for my motion detectors, instead of spending hundreds of dollars that I don't have to spend, I got a little toy at Walmart. And I think, I'm not sure where I got them at Walmart. But you know, if you shake them, I can lay these around and see if there's like children or something. Move it if the lights attract, if they want to move it around. I can take the little balls out of the container and use them for like motion detection. Yeah, I've got the 2 meters. Now, I need to get a new battery for my ghost meter because I think the light's getting a little bit dim, so I need to replace that battery. But for right now, testing, it'll be fine. But if you ever do get into this, let me show you something. Fire up to K2. Normally, if this is full power, which the light's a little dim, it tells me it needs a new battery. This is typically more sensitive. However, the K2 will pick up on your phone. And now it's picking up some on that speaker. See, that's a Bluetooth. It's picking up on the Bluetooth on this one. Okay, now this one isn't. K2 is not. I don't know if you can. Let me do this hopefully where you can see it. Let's check this out. Now, we're going to try this. Alright, K2 is not going, it's barely going off right there. This is how I move it. It's a little static electric charge, I think, right there. Okay, now, this is the ghost meter. See, going off. Okay, now, let me fire up my phone. The reason I'm showing you guys this is because there's a reason why I have keep it real on my little graphic. And it's kind of like my focus, my mindset, my little saying. I want to keep it real. I'm not ever going to fake anything. Ever. I don't believe in it myself. It's too important to me. Now here's the necrophonic. You hear it coming up on the Bluetooth. Now, I don't know, see where I can sit this where you might see it. Alright, just hold it. Alright, now, I want to see if this goes off around the phone. Goes off a little bit if I move right in here. Now pull it away and it's not going off. Okay. Hey Archie, where did I lay? Here we go. Now, it's falling between the cushions. Let's see if this goes off. So see, the ghost meter is typically more sensitive, in my opinion. But this did go off with the Bluetooth speaker. Okay? Now, reason I'm showing you that, so that in the future, when you're watching the videos, you know what to look for. Make sure somebody doesn't have these meters right by the source, especially the speaker, because you don't want to get a false positive. Okay. I'm going to unhook this and get my phone. Now, let's give this a try, shall we? Because I have several family members I've lost. And I think I may. Let me angle this camera down. Bear with me for a moment, folks. Just loosen, point down. Okay, now try to get as still as I can. There's the ghost meter and the K2. And make sure you can see them. Okay, now I've got the speaker over here with us, away from the stuff. Now I'm not using the reverb because for me it distorts it so bad I can't hear it. I can't really decipher what's being said. Bump the sound a little. Now, okay. This is Lindy.
And
Are any of my passed on family members here with me in spirit form now? If you are, please say hello. If you hear anything yourself, please note the time and in the comments below. I am asking for any of my family members that have passed on to let me know if they are here with me now. Keep hearing a child's voice. Wonder if that's Tinkerbell. That's just the nickname they gave the little girl's spirit.
so
Mama, are you here? Benny or Uncle Honey, are you here? And I also lost my Uncle Connie down in Charleston, but I don't think he would be up here with me. We're going to likely be with his family in Charleston. Lost so many people. I do want you to know I love every one of you and miss you all. So I see the K2 flickering a little bit. Now this was Mama's favorite place to sit and read her book. Are you here with me, Mama?
that
Ooh, that sounds like my brother. Benny, are you here with me? Can you say hello? Let's see, I'm looking at K2. I'm trying to keep this where I don't think there's a signal getting to it directly. Let me move the K2 just to be sure. Let's put it further down here so I can see the light. go. I just want to try and make sure that there's no interference it's picking up on from the phone or the speaker because of the Bluetooth. Oh, and any sound you hear behind me, that's my dog, Shadow.
Yep.
Benny, are you here? If you're here, do you remember the saying you had? What was your saying?
Just
Try it again. I think that might have been you trying to say it. Do you remember what you used to say when things got tough? What was your saying?
and
That would be absolute evidence to me that you're here with me. Let me get this to be still. Okay. But I will ask again. Is there any of my family members or any of my family members here that have passed on?
and
Okay, I thank you for being here if you are here. I want you to know that I do love you. I always will. And we miss you. Every one of you, we miss you so much. And I thank you if you tried to communicate. Now, get this turned off.
Power off.
So you know it's off. See, one thing I promise. I am not going to be somebody who fakes any of it. I either get it or I don't. Get that off. Okay, got everything off. Turn my flashlight off. And K2. I'm going to leave the K2 on for right now. See? See how it goes off around the phone? I think it's just phone sending out occasional signals. So let me get the app closed. Here. Oh, it's really going off. And I got my phone off now. Going on standby. Let's see. But I still think that's the phone. Even though I don't have airplane mode on or anything. That's something you gotta be careful of because your cell phone is gonna be sending out signals of stay in touch or whatever. So you have to be careful about that. Make sure that you don't have that kind of interference. Now see, it's far enough away now. Maybe keeping it over here so hopefully it doesn't get hit by a stray signal. Now I know there's people out there that will maybe do some fake things or just have fun with it. And I've got no problem with having fun with stuff. A lot of people out there have channels that just, it's entertainment. They found a way to make a decent living and have fun, so I don't fault them on that. I just recognize that that's their thing, that's what they're doing, and enjoy it for what it is. What upsets is if you have somebody that's trying to portray themselves as legitimate, doing serious research, and then they're bullshitting people and they're setting things up. Um, Now, I'm not going to ever call anybody out publicly. It's not my place. I mean, who the hell am I, right? I'm just little old me. But I just won't back away. Just won't watch them. I don't mind if somebody's having fun and entertaining. There's people out there I watch. I get a real kick out of watching. They're funny. They have fun with it. Um, it's the ones that I think are trying to portray themselves as legit when they're not. That's what I just stay away, because I figure they'll out themselves sooner or later. But I'm going on record. I have no intention of ever. I will not fake it. This is my heart here, because I literally have a bunch of family on the other side. And I am not about to go faking stuff. I really want to hear from family members that have gone on before. And it's just pointless to me to fake it. I have no reason to, I have no desire to. If I don't get anything, I don't get anything. Just like now, I don't know that I got anything. When I go inside in a few minutes, I'll review it and see what I find. And somebody who has better equipment than me might be able to listen to it and find stuff that I don't hear. But I'm not going to fake it. I don't want to jump to the conclusion that just because something happens, it's automatically paranormal. Most of the time, it's not going to be. And it's important to me to be honest about that. That's why one of the people that I will give props to, and I do respect, and it would hurt me if he ever found he was faking anything, was Patrick of the Haunted Side. He has stated on more than one occasion that he's actually had offers from big networks, because he does good what he's doing. He won't take the offers because he would basically, he'd have to fake stuff, and he's not going to do it. Because, just because some big sponsor like Coca-Cola or somebody else is paying millions of dollars, that's not his problem. He wants to find legit evidence, and he has said you don't have to fake stuff. You go to places that are known to be haunted, and soon enough you'll get something. I also think maybe it's better if we don't keep hitting the same places over and over. Put yourself in the shoes of somebody who is in spirit form, because we're all going to be there one day, guys. Every one of us is going to have our time to die. We're going to cross over. If you are fated to be an earthbound spirit for whatever reason, would you want a bunch of people traipsing in, shoving instruments in your face, perform for me like, treating you like a circus animal you're just supposed to be performing on command? That's a human being. That's a person. These are people that had lives, and they had feelings, and they cried, and they laughed, just like us. And they deserve to be treated with respect, not like sideshow freaks. And it really does kind of bother me when I see people go in demanding that they do this and demanding that they do that. Who the hell are you to demand stuff from somebody you don't even know? Maybe died a horrible, tragic death, and the shock of it locked them into this earth plane where they're blinded to seeing the light. We don't know, guys. We don't know. And you have 5 million theories, but they're theories. They're theories. My suspicion is that there is some really intense quantum physics involved. Read up on the double slit experiment. That really made me think that maybe even though what we get seem to be intelligent responses, maybe it's an echo, an intelligent echo of who was here on a quantum physics level. A piece of that person. Look at the hologram. It's like fractures and stuff of the whole picture, but every piece of that looks like the whole. And it's not the whole, it's a part of the whole. But it all comes together to form the whole. I mean, it's mind-blowing when you get into that stuff. I'm not some degreed scientist. It's just things that interested me for years, and I've read the articles about it and videos, people trying to explain this stuff. And when you apply it to the paranormal world, there's so many possibilities. Possibilities are infinite. And we're just trying the best we can with these, crude instruments that admittedly are far more advanced than what we had 100 years ago, but it's still a crude instrument trying to register the presence of, like for me, a loved one that's gone on. Energy doesn't die, it changes form. So I don't believe that they just poofed out of existence. They changed. Their spirit left their body. The body died, not them. And whatever they were here, they still are there. And it's trying to communicate through that veil. And that's what all this is about. And it's something I want to try to always do, is be as respectful as I possibly can to whatever spirit I'm ever blessed to communicate with, if I'm ever blessed to. Who knows, I may do this for years and never have an interaction. I may go to the cemetery Sunday and boom, I'm planning on going out Sunday afternoon to a cemetery locally. It'll be in the daytime. Let's see what footage I get. I was going to go tomorrow, but the storm's coming through, so I have to put that off. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. I'm just doing this to try to I need to get some content going on my channel, and I wanted to check out my equipment, and I thought I'd also have a little chit-chat with anybody who's, tunes in and watches this. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Anybody who has watched this, I do hope that you will hit the like button, and if you haven't, that you will subscribe to my channel and help me build my channel. And until my next video, I will say, keep it real. Love ya.